tonight's ceremony. I just want everybody to know that this is being live streamed on Bluegrass Sports Nation, and it's also being aired on WJSN 97.3. So if you can't hear in your cars, you can always tune in that way. At this time, I'm going to ask Hallie Turner to come and ask grace.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hallie Turner, and I will be starting the sermon off with a little prayer. So if you would please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be here today. We know the circumstances aren't great, but we're so blessed to be here with all our loved ones to share this memorable moment. It's been very hard these past few months, but we're glad we can be together and realize what life's truly about. I'm so grateful for being here, and I know everyone else is too. And we hope this time brings us forward into the best people we can be, and we can shine your light through our lives. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Good evening and welcome graduates, parents, colleagues, and members of the board. A warm welcome to you on this joyful yet sad occasion. Graduates, let me begin by saying how very proud we are of you. You have reached an important milestone, and it has come with a lot of hard work and sacrifice. We are sincerely sorry for what you have had to sacrifice these last couple of months. When educators knew they would not be returning to school, I think everyone thought of the seniors in their community, but we thought of you because you are the heart of Jackson City. We want to thank you for what you have given to our school. Your achievements and motivation made Jackson High School a 5-star school and number 3 in the state for accountability. Thank you for your inspiration. You have inspired so many with your dedication and perseverance. I know this experience prepare you for the challenges of life, but with that same dedication and perseverance, you will do great things. Last but not least, we want to thank you for your memories. You have left those lasting moments that we will also always cherish. You will never be forgotten. No matter where your next milestone in life takes you, remember that everyone inside that little school on the hill will always love you, and we will never forget the Jackson High School class of 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Good evening, fellow students, teachers, and parents. I first want to say thank you to all our teachers who have gone out of their way to give us the best education and advice they can give us. Thank you to all the parents who have fed us and clothed us and pushed us to be the best we can do, the best we can do. Thank you to all people in attendance here today. Let's say that this is not the graduation I was expecting, or that anyone was expecting for that matter. I hope that everyone has stayed safe during these times. I'm sure that this definitely will be a memorable graduation. All joking aside, I know this will not be the last graduation for many of us here today. I know all of us graduating here possess the ability to better our education and therefore better ourselves. The situation that we're in right now proves that no matter the circumstances, we will strive to achieve our goals. I know we are all resilient enough to accomplish anything we set as our goals. I have had the pleasure of being alongside most of you throughout most of my time in school. I know that each and every one of you can and hopefully will achieve your goals. However, there is no success without failure. And like I said, we're all resilient and we can overcome any challenge that the world throws at us. While many of us here will be going our separate ways, I would like to say thank you to each and every student and faculty member of being with us during this important time in our lives. Some of us may never see each other again, but we will always have the memories of the time we spent together. I will miss all of you, and I love each and every single one of you. Thank you.
I have spent 12 years of my life dreaming about what I would say if I ever got the opportunity to stand on this stage. And for once in my life, I'm actually kind of speechless. Saying goodbye to the school and people that made you you is no easy task. I wish more than anything that I could walk across the stage with my best friends on each side of me. I wish Miss Roark could hand me my diploma and have to wiggle on her tippy toes so that her face will be close to mine for the picture. I wish I could get one last high five from Charles and one more hug from Clyde. But things don't always work out how you want them to. And sometimes the only option you have is to trust that God has a bigger plan in store. Standing here in front of 20 of my best friends and their families, who may as well be my own, I have realized that instead of dwelling over the circumstances, we should focus on the memories and bonds we have created through our years on the Hill. If I named every person that has played a part into getting me where I am today, we would be here all evening. But there are a few people I cannot leave this stage without giving some credit to. Miss Roark, thank you for letting me ugly cry in your office during my first heartbreak. Thank you for always believing in me and having my back, but especially thank you for making sure you're always stocked up on my favorite trail mix in your office. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably spent more time in there than I did in any classroom. But anyways, don't think you're getting rid of me just because I'm graduating. It won't be quite that easy. Chet, thank you for convincing me that it was in fact not impossible or God's will for me not to do math, but that it was just going to take a little bit of extra work and dedication. Two things you were more than willing to provide to me. Miss Davidson, thank you for introducing me to my love for FPS and for always answering my phone calls to give me directions when I get lost. And if you know me very well, you know that's pretty often. Andress and Miss Henson, you've been like my second mothers for years now. I will never be able to thank you enough for everything you've done for me, especially for giving birth to two of my favorite ginger boys. And most of all, my sweet family. Dad, thank you for the dashing good looks, my love for murder mysteries, and showing me that anything is possible if you're willing to work hard enough. Mom, thank you for always being in my corner no matter the circumstances and loving me unconditionally. I owe everything I am to you. My bonus mama, God knew what I needed whenever he placed you in my life. Thank you for instilling the promise of God's love in me and for never failing to make the best out of a bad situation. You have the kindest soul of anyone I've ever met. And to my sweet sister, thank you for being my personal motivational speaker, most influential role model, and biggest cheerleader. Because I have a sister, I will always have a best friend. And to my 20 other best friends, congratulations. Look around at your family, your friends, your teachers, and your community. Look at how they are all here in support of you. Life is full of twists and turns. Don't be afraid to stray away from the well-worn path that everyone else is walking. Embrace the challenges you face and don't let the fear of failure box you into years of regret. How will you ever learn anything if you never make a mistake? Trust your intuition, listen to your heart, and fight hard for what you believe in. Stop wasting precious time running down hollow streets in search of happiness. Soon, you'll find it's been inside of you all along. And to future or current Jackson City students, please do not take this little school for granted. Dress up for every ball game and cheer front row, even though you have a Mr. Sewell test in the morning. Smile at every student you see in the hallway and make friends with the little kids who you just can't seem to get around in the mornings when you're late. One last thing. Let me remind you that tomorrow is not promised. Cherish every single moment, especially the ones you get to spend in my little home on the hill. Jackson forever.
I do not want the 2020 graduating class to be remembered as the Corona class, or the class that did not have a senior trip, a prom, a state academic meet, a softball or baseball season. I want us to be remembered for all the things we did accomplish. Like the rest of you, I never would have thought that all 20 of us would be lined up in our cars at a church having our graduation ceremony. I'm someone that is very traditional, who likes things to be done as they have been in the past. Coming to the realization that this year will be different has been tough for me, but sometimes being different is a good thing. We, the class of 2020, will always be remembered for persevering through these unprecedented, uncertain times. It is important for us not to dwell on the things we're unable to do, but focus on all the amazing things that happened this year. No class in Jackson City School history has performed as well academically on statewide accountability tests and the ACT. Our little school was third in the state thanks to our class, and that is something to be very proud of. Our class has contributed to many successful sports programs, such as the girls' basketball and softball teams competing in region. Our soccer team made it to the All-A state tournament, and our basketball team had a winning record for the first time in years. Our academic and chess teams have been regional champions for several years. Our class has made a name for itself at Jackson City, in Jackson City history, and we will always be remembered for all we have done. Growing up, Jackson City has been a second home to me, and for many of you as well. My classmates have been like siblings, and the amazing faculty have been our extended family. I cannot imagine graduating from any other school, and no one will understand the love that radiates from this school. I want to thank everyone that has helped me and the rest of my classmates to make it to this point in our lives. I could go on for days thanking all the people that have been instrumental in where I have become today. There's no other school where the faculty works harder to ensure each and every one of us is prepared for the next step in our lives. From kindergarten assignments of 3 times each in ABC order to dissecting cats in anatomy class, we did it. We have been through so much together, and the past 13 years have come with countless memories. From field trips to the pumpkin patch, Halloween parties, to Dawson Prater busting a pin in Miss Bowling's room, to waiting in line for 3 hours for a roller coaster at Cedar Point, our class has memories that will keep us together forever. I'm still hoping we can have our last schools out pool party before we head to college. As this chapter of our lives comes to an end, another one begins, and most of us will go our separate ways. But I want us all to remember where we came from and where we got our start in life. Our parents and faculty at Jackson City have reared us to who we are now, and they have prepared us for who we will become in the future. So today is a celebration of all their hard work as well. We have been given the tools to be successful, so let's go out in the world and use them. Not done. Not done. I owe so much to the school and will forever be thankful for all the people here that have helped mold me into who I am today. I want to leave you guys with a little song lyric from the late Juice WRLD. As we go on, we remember all the times we spent together. As our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Thank you, guys.
I would like to start by congratulating every senior here today. I think we can all agree that this class of 2020 has undoubtedly been one of the most successful and outstanding classes in the history of Jackson City. There may not be very many of us, but because of that, every member of this class has mastered the art of beating the odds. In fact, I would go so far as to say that it has become our trademark. The fact that we are even having this ceremony here today in the midst of this pandemic only furthers my point, which is to never question the capabilities of the JCS class of 2020. With that being said, we can never have achieved our goals without the help of others, which includes the Jackson City faculty, our supporters, our friends, and our families. First, I would like to thank all the JCS staff members that hold our school together. You have all influenced our lives in more ways than you could ever realize, and it is because of you that I have complete confidence in the fact that every student in this class will have a very promising future. Next, I would like to thank the boys. You all know who you are, and it is because of you that my 4 years of high school at Jackson will be an unforgettable, if not legendary, experience. I would not want to sneak out during every lunch to stuff myself at the Pizza Hut buffet, win and lose together on the field or court, or constantly find ways to bend the rules with anyone else. I love all of you like brothers. Last but most certainly not least, I would like to thank my family. My dad for being both my hero and role model, my mom for keeping my head on straight and shaping me into the young man I am today, and my sister for being my lifelong best friend. I would not be standing here making this speech right now if not for you three. In conclusion, congratulations again to the JCS class of 2020, and the best of luck in whatever you do from this point on.
Good evening, parents, friends, teachers, administrators, and of course, the graduating class of 2020. Today we have become Jackson Independent graduates. The home of the Tigers is now also home of tomorrow's doctors and nurses, teachers and psychologists, engineers and lawyers. No matter when you chose to become part of Jackson Independent, what matters is that we're all here tonight to celebrate our achievements, our victories, both individually and as a school, and the journey on which we all have commenced toward our future destinations. Each of us has had our own unique experiences at Jackson, a combination of good and bad times, times of laughter and of joy, times of school spirit, and of course, times of last-minute studying for the exam that we forgot was taking place tomorrow. I have had so many memories that have shaped me into the person I am today. One of which, when I transferred to Jackson a couple years ago, was how everyone at the school, including students, teachers, and staff, made me feel at home and never let me feel out of place at Jackson. Another memory I loved is when we took that trip to Cedar Point, and my friends that I cherish so much never let me back down from a ride no matter how scared I was, or how we all kept standing in line for rides no matter how cold and freezing the weather was. High school graduation marks the end of yet another chapter in our lives. With this chapter closed, I am certain that many of us are already anxious about starting the next one, because unlike an English book, we cannot skip through the pages of life to see how long the next chapter is going to be. With our own books of life, we have to learn that every day that passes is another page that is written in our books. Luckily, as Jackson graduates, we have been given all the paper and pencil we need to write our own stories. And with the love and support of our families, friends, students, staff, and teachers, our stories will become bestsellers. One thing I will reflect upon as I throw my graduation cap in the air is the way that Jackson has been my home away from home for the past couple years. During our time at Jackson, we have all met so many new people, made lasting friendships, and lived through lifelong memories. And I'm sure we can all agree waking up on Monday mornings was never an easy task, but knowing we have people who care and support us made it all a little easier. As we begin to write our next chapter, let us all remember that COVID-19 affected us good and bad. Our time together got cut short, but we've also been able to spend more time with friends and family, and that will always be important to me. Go Tigers!
You know, they always say that high school, these are the best days of our lives. So I guess it's all downhill from here. Please cue the laughter. No, while it isn't the best of times to graduate, it's a graduation nonetheless. So I guess my class can hear me prattle on for 5 minutes one more time. While my time at Jackson City has been shorter than some of my classmates, I still consider everyone here to be a family. 6 years ago, when I came here, I was scared. I felt like I might not fit in. Well, I was wrong. Some of my best friends were made my first day sitting in my 7th grade English class. I always felt like I stood out in middle school. Looking back now, I was just really loud and whiny. Later on, I formed my first band with 2 of my closest friends, and from that moment on, wailing on a drum kit in a basement, practicing for the few shows we ended up playing, I knew I would want to pursue music. Fast forward, and I'm on the soccer field. I never was the best player, but it built character. When the band program finally came back, I hopped aboard and decided that the best thing to do would be to ag on school rivalries at sporting events, screaming like a maniac and drumming. Still with my closest friends by my side. My sophomore year, I was presented with one of the toughest choices that I ever had to make. I applied to the Craft Academy on a whim, not taking it seriously at the time, and I had to decide whether I was going to leave my family at Jackson or not. Well, after my interview, I ended up getting accepted, so that was when the decision was made. I decided yes. Little did I know my family at Jackson City would have my back for the entire ride. I made sure to come back a few times and visit. Every time, I would miss it. As I would walk through the halls with everyone telling me hello, it really sank in how tightly knit Jackson City is as a family. And I also always knew I had to have my speech about Moorhead ready to give while standing at the front of Mr. Sewell's classroom. So here's to all the all-nighters, the homework assignments I didn't do, and all the arguments I've had with teachers refusing to admit I was wrong. There's some people, of course, I want to thank. I want to thank Miss Bowling for always listening to me complain about my day. I want to thank both Miss Rourke and Chet Siegel for teaching me to love math in middle school. I want to thank Mr. Sewell for always encouraging me to pursue my dreams while helping me stay at least somewhat realistic. I want to thank Miss Henson for encouraging me to apply to craft. I want to thank Wayne Sizemore for teaching me to always dig deep and push further, whether it be on the soccer field or in life. And I want to thank Key Douthit for helping me to keep my ego in check on the academic team. Most importantly, I want to thank my parents. I want to thank my mom for always helping me to keep calm no matter how stressed out I was, And I want to thank my dad for always helping me to laugh through the stress by telling me some crummy joke. And I want to thank my classmates for tolerating me and supporting me through my whole journey, no matter how annoying I was. I thank all of you and wish you the best. And while normally I think graduation speeches are too long and boring, I want to thank you all for listening to my long and boring story. Goodbye and good night, JCS.
At this time, BSN, the Bluegrass Sports Nation, will be live streaming the PowerPoint that the seniors put together. So at this time, we'll turn it over to them.
If everyone would please join me in the singing of the alma mater. High up in Kentucky's mountains, nestled in the hills, stands our dear old alma mater. How we love her still. Truth will ever be our motto. May we worthy be of thy praise, dear alma mater, through eternity. We shall never forget our high school years, which now are gone, but the memory ever fresh will through the years live on. On to future goals undreamed of, on to victory. This our cry, dear alma mater, Jackson High for I.
Superintendent Green, Jackson Independent School Board members, it is my honor and pleasure to inform you that these seniors have met or exceeded the requirements set forth by the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the Jackson Independent School District to receive their diplomas and become graduates of the Jackson City School.
So, Ms. Roark, on behalf of the Jackson Independent School Board, I enthusiastically accept your recommendation. So at this time, would the class of 2020 please come forward and receive your diplomas and gifts?
Sean C. Back. Paul Champ. Audrey Clemens Combs. Elizabeth Ann Hayes. Jacob Hunter Ray Harold. Damian Xavier Jackson. Brandon T.D. Large. Christian Faith Moore. Haley Beth Mullins. Evan Patrick O'Neill. Joshua Petty. Dawson Roy Lee Prater. Sladen Wayne Sizemore. Madeline Joe Smoot. Taylor Nicole Tobby. Colton Micah Smith. Harley Isabella Jean Thomas. Hallie Grace Turner. Brandon Arthur Wolf. Dion Johnson.
Okay, so couple things just real quickly. Man, I'm really liking this. The more I think about it, I'm like, maybe we just should make this change, just make this permanent. Just every year from now on, let's just do this. No. Seriously though, just a couple thoughts. First off, I just want to say that as maybe one of the newer people here, I just really appreciate you guys, everybody here today, and you seniors going through everything you've had to go through. We always talk a lot about perseverance and grit, and I think that over the past 2 to 3 months, you guys have really demonstrated that in several ways, and I'm just super proud of you all, and I know that the future is just so bright for all of you all. When I was listening to a couple of the speeches, one thing just came to mind. Slade Sizemore talked about how he didn't want this class to be remembered. And the one thing I will say is that no matter what happens with this class, you will always be remembered. Everybody from now on, when you talk about classes, you will always, from this day forward, everybody's going to talk about 2020 and the class of 2020. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. And with this, it is my pleasure for having been your superintendent. And at this time, I am proud to announce you graduates of Jackson City School.
All right, staff and faculty, if you will go and try to find you a vehicle, they are going to throw their caps up in the air, and we have a drone that is going to capture that. We'll do it all at the same time, so throw it out your window, the sides, however you want to do it. Do not leave the parking lot yet. There will be a parade. Hallie Turner will be first. But we need for you to stop up here. We do have a cake made for each of you because we cannot do the reception. So we have a cake, and we also have your yard sign. So everybody get ready, and on the count of 3, we'll let you throw your hats. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Graduates, make sure you stop in front of the stage to get your items. Love you all.